Why does Chani wear a blue scarf? What's the deal with Gurney's guitar? And was Paul's visions of the future a lie? Welcome to CineSqueeze, and today we're covering the top 10 Easter eggs in Dune Part 2. Number 10. An Older Aaliyah. A major change to Dune in this movie is the exclusion of Aaliyah. Well, she's not entirely removed. In the book, she was born and became a key player in assassinating the Baron. In the film, she isn't born yet, but does speak to Jessica. The film also showcases an older version of Aaliyah in the future, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. So, while Aaliyah doesn't get to kill, she does guide Paul with a surprising cameo. Number 9. A future Paul. Much like Part 1, Dune Part 2 also has visions of the future. Paul witnesses a future in which he brings about genocide. This is a tease for the events of the sequel book, Dune Messiah. In that book, Paul is not seen so much as the hero of the Fremen, but a tyrant who must be stopped. This is why the tone of the movie is darker than the triumphant portrayal of the book. So, if you thought Paul was vicious in this film, just wait until you see him in the sequel. Number 8. A shorter time jump. The time that Paul and Jessica spend with the Fremen before the grand battle is 9 months. However, that's only the time spent in the movie. In the book, the time spent with the Fremen is 2 years. During this time, not only is Jessica's daughter born, but Paul and Chani also have a child. So, the film has no time for babies as it zooms into the big battle with the Harkonnens. Number 7. Gurney's guitar. In the film, Gurney is reintroduced as a smuggler, plucking away at a 9-stringed guitar called balisette. This aspect wasn't as present in Part 1. Being a musician was Gurney's second talent next to combat. This is mentioned in the book and even present in the director's cut of 1984's Dune. Brolin also collaborated with the film's composer to craft a song to go along with the strumming. It's only a brief scene, but it's one that's true to the book and had some extra effort put in by Brolin. Number 6. A Burning Palindrome. Part 2 begins with the Harkonnens burning the bodies of House Atreides. It's a disturbing sight that soon comes back to haunt the film. Soon after the Fremen defeat House Harkonnen, the Fremen do the exact same thing. It's a palindromic ending, as Paul leads the Fremen the same as the Harkonnens. It's also a dark shadow of his future to come for becoming just as tyrannical in his quest for revenge. Number 5. Earth-toned Bene Gesserit. You may have noticed that Jessica wears a different type of Bene Gesserit garb while in the Fremen. The Bene Gesserit mothers all wear covers that are black, but on Arrakis, Jessica ends up wearing more earth tones to her outfit. It's an easier way to make it distinct that while Jessica may still be a Bene Gesserit, she's still trying to blend in with the Fremen. Number 4. Something blue. As Chani gets to know Paul, she starts wearing a blue scarf around him. This is not just Zendaya trying to look more stylish in the ugly suits that recycle liquids. The scarf is meant to symbolize her love for Paul. So, when she dons this scarf during Paul's sandworm test, it's the equivalent to her holding up a big sign that says, "I love you," but in a more subtle way. Number 3. Black Sun. The planet of the Harkonnens looks much different than any planet. In fact, it's a planet that seems devoid of color. The arena sequence makes the exteriors of the planet seem bathed in black and white. This is due to the planet having a black sun, which creates this high contrast. It makes the world look extra off-putting and probably makes all their movies look like film noir. It's also why the fireworks look less like colorful explosions and more like splashy blotches of ink. Number 2. An Echo of Silence. Paul truly asserts himself in Part 2 by throwing the chilling words right back at the Bene Gesserit. In Part 1, he was shouted at to be silent during his test with the Jom Gabar. In Part 2, however, Paul realizes his true power and shouts down the condescending mothers of the Bene Gesserit. Maybe don't talk back to the guy who just led a revolution and dethroned the emperor of the known universe. Number 1. Paul's vision changes. In Dune Part 1, Paul had a vision of himself charging into battle. He was seen in armor fighting right alongside the Fremen. While this battle does happen in Part 2, it's not quite as Paul envisioned it. Instead of Paul being the one fighting, it's Chani who brings this prophecy to life. It's a clever way to communicate how Paul's visions are not always accurate and that he isn't entirely bound by destiny. So, what did you think of our list? Did you learn anything new? Were there any Easter eggs we missed? Should we have mentioned the similarities to Dune TV miniseries? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more movie lists. Thanks for watching.